It's with great pleasure to introduce Dr. Ray Bergstra. Ray is Director of Technology and Business Development for TerraVerdae Bioworks, an Edmonton-based PHA polymer plastics technology and production company. Ray earned his Bachelor's of Science in Applied Chemistry from McMaster University and his Ph.D. in Organic Chemistry from the University of Alberta. He has 13 years of international experience in the lubricants industry, having held positions at Mobil Oil and Chevron Texaco that included lubricant product development, product line management, as well as marketing and sales management. In 2003, Ray established MTN Consulting Association, a market research technology commercialization and project management consulting firm, specializing in supporting new product ventures. I'd like to introduce Dr. Ray Bergstra. Take it away, Ray.
So I'm happy to be here and to present our work on PHA-resin development, a project that began 2 years ago, and where ThermoFisher's supply of equipment was critical in the work that we did. And a little bit about Terra Verde Bioworks. We call ourselves an emerging clean tech company. We have global reach, and we were established in 2009. We're located at a incubation space called Agri-Food Discovery Place at the University of Alberta in Edmonton, Alberta. And we have in this location, we have both lab and an office space for our team. This is where we do all of our PHA work, both in terms of fermentation and bioprocessing and to produce polymers, as well as our polymer development program, which I'm going to talk about today. We also have a facility in Charlottetown, PEI, where in the same field of biomaterials, we have a team that's working on natural polymers based on chitosan. But today we're focused more on PHAs, more about how our approach to the technology. Terra Verde has an experienced team with multidisciplinary expertise. And so that includes systems biology, which established the technology for microbe development, and this is all related to the bioprocessing and engineering related to fermentation that we undertook initially as the first stage of technology development for Terra Verde back in 2009. And in this through this effort, we incorporated the microbe design and PHA production bioprocessing to demonstrate that we could make PHAs at commercial scale. And so this is important for supply as the company moves forward. And then currently we are able to incorporate this the PHA chemistry and bioprocessing design with our polymer science team, and we're focused on commercial resin development. A little bit more about PHAs. The PHA stands for polyhydroxyalkanoate, and we have a portfolio of polymers. Basically, we work with PHB, which is a common version of PHA. It is what's called a short-chained PHA. If you look at the little diagram at the bottom, I'm a chemist, so there's no presentation for me does not contain a chemical structure of some type. And this portion here, that is the butyrate portion, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, and this is the monomer of PHB, and it has this short side chain of 1 carbon, and that's PHB. PHB is crystalline. It's relatively high melting point and high strength and toughness. We can incorporate PHB into films and filaments, and microspheres is another product area. On the other hand, PHAs can be produced with longer side chains, and here the side chains might be C6, C8, C10, etc. Lengths, and these are called the medium chain length PHAs. And so we produce a proprietary MCL, a medium chain length. We call them MCL PHA. This is a highly elastomeric material. It's very flexible. It has a lower melting point, and we are applying this polymer to areas such as coatings, adhesives, and plasticizers. There are many versions of PHAs under development. Ours are just two. There's other PHAs. Essentially, these products all require unique compounding and processing to meet industry performance standards. And if you think about the plastics industry, we need to catch up on 60 plus years of petroleum plastics technology. I guess one thing I should mention that it goes without saying that our PHAs are both biodegradable and they're bio-based. And so this is I'm not talking too much about the marketing of our products, but this is the market approach we have, is to have high performance plastics and resins that are produced using PHAs, and they're both high performance and bio-based and biodegradable, and so they meet the sustainability requirements of most initiatives that you see from larger companies and government policies. So we can apply our PHA technology to a number of bioplastics markets. The big one that we were targeting initially is films, because the agricultural mulch film was one that we wanted to go after, because this is a natural fit for our plastics, where a film can be used in the field and left and can biodegrade in place and not have to be removed, etc. There's a lot of effort underway for single-use flexible packaging, and there's also opportunities for personal protective equipment and lamination plastics for paper and cardboard. So these are the film applications that we are working on. We also have targeting a large number of thermoplastic moldings, and this could be either injection molding and our packaging for personal care products and cosmetics, for example, and also thermoformed moldings is another one. And we've made some accomplishments in this area. The adhesives is one that we are looking at mainly with our MCL PHAs for press-on adhesives and hot melt adhesives. And then we also have specialty PHA products that we are targeting for other applications, various applications in such as microsphere additives for cosmetics, 3D printing filaments, and other possible medical devices, etc. So our approach to the project that we began essentially 2 years ago, a very aggressive project, as mentioned. We have trying to make resins that can compete on performance with existing plastics. And so we had a baseline of information from work we had done previously, and we needed to optimize these PHA compounded formulations, because the PHA formulations that we had on their own, do not meet it's difficult to meet the mainstream applications for plastic products. And so we needed to do some compounding and to meet the requirements for things like blown film, thermoforming, and injection molding. Then this involved defining process parameters for the extruder, feeding conditions. We had set points, speed, and dryness levels, and cooling requirements. All these things we had to figure out in terms of processing. And then ultimately, we wanted to scale up anything that we've done that looks good. We wanted to transfer this over to larger scale and commercial scale production. That's the goal. So the ThermoFisher Process 11 twin screw extruder was a key part of our product development work. In the picture, you can see is the control monitor. There's a hopper, there's a feeder here somewhere, and then there's another liquid pump there. And this is, and then this is the barrel part of the extruder itself. And this was a key part of our work. We needed this to just get a sense for where we could go with our PHAs, and it enabled us to also to extrude polymer at as low as 100 grams at a time. And we could, even at that scale, we were able to produce sufficient filament and material so that we could do basic mechanical property screening. And that's the route we took. We had a mini twin screw feeder for the powdered polymer, and a port for the pumping and liquid plasticizer additives as we needed. And then we had the coolant system so that we had good barrel temperature control. The main results that we on the technical side, we processed probably close to 1,000 experimental compounded resins over the past year and a half, and so we used this machine a lot. We were able to document mechanical properties, and for the various applications, which I'll talk about more in a minute, we had resins that with a melt flow index from as low as 2 up to 15. Tensile strength, we could get up over 30 megapascals, and elasticity, we achieved the elasticity for blown films. That was the main target of greater than 500%. And I think when we transferred that to larger scale, the properties improved past that. Our optimized resins. So after we did all the screening, we passed on our process and our formulations to our partners, and we were successful in producing blown film samples. We thermoformed product, injection molding products, and as well as a 3D printing filament. We were able to transfer the processing parameters of the promising resins to larger extruders, so they were able to use our information and successfully go ahead with 16 millimeter and 36 millimeter extruder operations and produce hundreds of kgs of our pilot scale resins. And these products are currently under evaluation by our customers. So just some examples of what we accomplished. The picture on the left is a pilot scale blown film line. And so the film grain resin has in relative terms, a lower melt flow index. It has high elasticity and moderate strength requirements. We were able to make cast film, much thicker cast films successfully that you can thermoform into various pieces. And it's just an example of a bowl, a tray. And so this material has a moderate melt flow and elasticity, but we designed it with higher strength. The object on the right is a hose adapter that we made using our 3D printer from the filament that we produced. So we have a 3D printing filament that we are able to produce within industry specifications, and it was ran just fine in our 3D printer. And so this is a material that would have a moderate melt flow and quite for a more rigid plastic, so low elasticity and higher strength. And this is I use this for my shop vac actually, and it works very well. Our project partners, I wanted to acknowledge who we worked with over the past 2 years. Terra Verde was, we were the lead technology. This is our technology, our commercial operations that we're targeting. We had some commercial partners. Alta Injection Molding is a converter based locally, who is helping us make prototypes and to get us access to market and customers. So that's worked out very well. Polyfirm Canada is a PHA technology company, and we licensed their PHA chemistry and technology. Agri-Food Discovery Place is where we are located, and they have bioprocessing equipment so that we are able to produce by fermentation our PHAs and do all the processing and purification that we need to do on that side. Innotech Alberta is also a project partner who has extrusion technology and polymer testing capacity. They have the 16 millimeter extruder that we use to produce 2 to 5 kg samples for evaluations. And then NRC, the National Research Council, located in Boucherville, they are a major partner for all of our pilot scale work. So they were able to run pilot scale film processing, and they made us some of the other the 3D printing filament and then the cast film sample for thermoforming. So the current focus at Terra Verde, now we are fully focused on scale up and commercialization. We're commissioning a 24 millimeter ThermoFisher twin screw extruder for pilot scale production. And we will be supplying our customers and processes with resins for them to evaluate and to supply the market with trial materials and then move that up to larger scale as we move forward. The products under evaluation now, as I mentioned, is agricultural plastics, greenhouse plastics, flexible packaging. And we are seeking investment for expanding our production. That's our immediate goals for now. For more information, you can go to our website or you can email info@terraverde.com. Thank you very much.